It's a pleasure to offer brief testimony to the European Parliament on the proposed Canary Island deepwater drilling project. My name is Richard Steiner. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. I was a marine science professor at the University of Alaska for 30 years, specializing in the issue of oil spill prevention and response. Today, I serve as a consultant and expert witness in oil spill cases around the world. I was asked by the Fuerteventura Council to conduct an independent expert review of the Repsol EIS for two principal safety critical aspects. One, the risk prevention and control of a blowout, and two, its oil spill response plan. Specifically, the Council asked me to identify omissions or errors and insufficiencies in the EIS regarding its conformance of the proposal with best available technology and best environmental practice in deepwater drilling. Overall, I concluded that the Repsol EIS for the Canary Islands is not fit for purpose, and I respectfully recommend that the government of Spain decline to accept the document and deny the exploratory drilling project as proposed. The EIS clearly fails to meet the required specifications stipulated in the government's letter to the company June 6, 2013, which embodied basic requirements of the following four principal documents. One, the European Commission's 2001 guidance on EIA-EIS review. Two, the OSPAR Convention. Three, the European Parliament's 12 June 2013, the EU Drilling Directive, which requires best available technology and that risk be reduced to as low as possible. And finally, four, the Legislative Royal Decree from January 11, 2008. In the government's letter from June 6, 2013 to the company, it requires Repsol to address in detail in the EIS all aspects of the project. This is unequivocal, and this includes well design and construction, wellhead pressure control, description of all equipment to be used, the cement formulation and application, drilling muds, shallow hazards analysis, response to loss of well control, blowout, specific emergency procedures, well abandonment, and the oil spill response plan. Regarding all of this, the EIS is clearly insufficient. The information is just not there. It doesn't provide sufficient detail with which to determine with reasonable confidence that the project could be conducted safely. Regarding risk reduction, the company says it will commit only to a normal industry standard, which is as low as reasonably practicable, but not to best available technology and best environmental practice, or as required in the EU Drilling Directive, reducing risk to as low as possible. These are two very different risk reduction standards. They consistently understate risk and overstate their response capabilities. There's no blowout contingency plan, no critical operations and curtailment plan, as is required in the United States. They do not commit to use best available techniques and technology regarding the blowout preventers on the subsea wellheads. It doesn't commit to follow the American Petroleum Institute's Standard 53 regarding blowout preventers. These are critical components of any exploratory drilling operation, as we found out in the Deepwater Horizon. Of course, Repsol is a global company with operations in more than 30 countries, including the United States, including here in Alaska. The company is well aware of and must comply with the safety requirements for offshore drilling in these countries. For instance, the new offshore drilling safety rule in the United States, established after the Deepwater Horizon. But in the Canaries EIS, it does not discuss, recognize, or reflect the significant increase in safety standards for offshore drilling, particularly deep water drilling in other national regimes, such as here in the United States. In contrast, the Canaries EIS actually reflects a less rigorous deep water drilling regime than the company is required to comply with now in the United States. This is a double standard that is unconscionable, in my view. These are global industries these days. There's no excuse for giving one area lower standards than any other in the world. Some of the wells proposed by Repsol in the Canaries are deeper than the failed BP Macondo well in the Gulf of Mexico, but they don't address the lessons learned and mitigations needed from that event at all. Their worst case blowout scenario, in fact, in the Canaries EIS is only 1,000 barrels per day over 30 days. This is unrealistically small and I propose that they need to model at least 30,000 barrels per day for 60 days. By comparison, the Macondo blowout was about 62,000 barrels per day over 87 days for a total release of about 4.9 million barrels. These are risky operations. Given the high ecological sensitivity of the coastal and offshore environment of the Canary Islands, the high risk of exploratory drilling in deepwater reservoirs, I feel that prior to any further consideration of the proposed project, that the government of Spain and the people of the Canary Islands deserve a much more deliberate, comprehensive, and carefully developed EIS, in particular regarding well integrity and control, blowout response, and oil spill response. In all honesty, the Repsol proposal reminds me a bit of our complacency here in the United States prior to the Deepwater Horizon. We learned the hard way in the Deepwater Horizon that there is no room for error in deepwater drilling, but none of this new attitude is reflected by Repsol in their EIS, none of it. And it's clear that the EIS does not satisfy the EU drilling directive or these other rules we've referenced. And we simply cannot continue to accept business as usual with such risky drilling projects any longer. Thus, I respectfully recommend to the government of Spain that the project not be permitted, and I respectfully propose to the EU Parliament to do the right thing here. It's take a stand, categorically reject this proposal, and send a strong message regarding a new era in environmental responsibility. We can do this better. We have to, and we should not permit this sort of attitude to persist. Thank you very much, and I look forward to continuing to engage with the committee throughout your deliberations. Thank you.
Soy Marisa Tejedor, catedrática de la Facultad de Biología de la Universidad de La Laguna y presidenta del Consejo Científico del Comité MAB español. El Consejo Científico, a petición de la Secretaría del Comité MAB, elaboró un informe sobre el impacto que las prospecciones petrolíferas y los hipotéticos vertidos podían tener en la biodiversidad canaria y en concreto en las islas de Lanzarote y Fuerteventura, al ser estas islas denominadas reservas de la biosfera. En la primera parte del informe se refleja la importancia del medio natural de estas islas, tanto en el ámbito terrestre como en el ámbito marino y muy especialmente en las zonas que podrían verse afectadas por esos hipotéticos vertidos. Son muchas las figuras de protección que existen en la zona y de naturaleza pues muy variada, de rango muy variado, comunitario, nacional, europeo, hay cepas, hay CER, hay sitios Ramsar, etc. En la segunda parte se hace un análisis muy profundo de los posibles impactos que podrían producirse. Así se analiza los generados por las perforaciones en sí, el efecto que pueden tener sobre los animales marinos, sobre la flora marina y la costera, la afección de espacios y especies protegidas, el efecto sobre la calidad de las aguas. No debemos olvidar que el 100% de las aguas de abasto de Lanzarote y Fuerteventura pues proceden de la desalinización de agua de mar. También se analiza el efecto que puede tener sobre el modelo de desarrollo. No voy a concretar cada uno de estos aspectos, pero sí voy a hacer referencia a dos, a las aves y el efecto sobre las aves, los posibles efectos sobre las aves y los cetáceos. ¿Y por qué? Porque son muchas las aves que reproduciéndose en Europa, en Norteamérica y en el hemisferio sur, utilizan estas aguas durante sus desplazamientos migratorios e incluso algunas de estas aves invernan en estas aguas. ¿Se verían afectadas? Pues sí se verían muy afectadas por el petróleo, bien porque lo ingieren o porque se cubre su plumaje. Al cubrirse el plumaje se impide el vuelo y se reduce su capacidad de aislamiento, pudiendo incluso llegar a la muerte por hipotermia. También, y además es bien conocido en todo el mundo, las luces de las plataformas pueden atraer a estas aves marinas, desorientarlas y ocasionar pues colisiones. El caso de los cetáceos, otro tan importante como los anteriores, ¿por qué? Porque están presentes en estas aguas del orden de 27 especies de cetáceos de las 38 reconocidas en el Atlántico Norte. Podrían afectarse los cetáceos de muchas maneras. Un ejemplo es los ruidos procedentes de las plataformas. Pueden causar daños en las estructuras auditivas, pueden solapar sonidos biológicos con las correspondientes repercusiones en sus funciones, tanto en las funciones sociales como alimentarias, reproductivas, etc. En definitiva, el informe concluye que un accidente con vertidos de hidrocarburos causaría un importante impacto medioambiental, ya que podrían verse afectados ecosistemas con valores naturales de gran interés y la rica biodiversidad marina existente en estas islas. Comunidades marinas y de costa con un alto valor ecológico podrían verse perjudicadas. Los daños se extenderían además al ámbito económico y repercutiría en el bienestar de la población. El nivel de impacto negativo, lógicamente, dependerá del grado de contaminación que se produzca.
I'm a professor of the University of Hamburg and am studying the marine subterranean fauna of Lanzarote since about 30 years. Among the Canaries, Lanzarote provides a special and exceptional biological situation. Due to poor rainfall, the seawater deeply infiltrates the island because its underground consists of porous lava rock with small fissures. Additionally, this habitat is subjected to the tidal rhythm, as can be seen by visitors of the protected anchialine pool Jameos del Agua. The marine underground of the island is not abiotic, but is settled by a large number of animals which are adapted to life in darkness. Until now, 27 species were detected, which are exclusive and endemic to Lanzarote. The most well-known are the blind crab Munidopsis and the ancient crustacean relics of Speleonectis, which all are protected by law. Many others are even rarer and urgently need protection. This habitat and its fauna have an exceptional value for science with respect to evolutionary, ecological, and biogeographical studies. The international scientific community is upset about the plans of oil exploration and drilling east of Lanzarote, because the substances set free are poisonous and will penetrate the subterranean ecosystem with the tides. Subterranean animals are extremely sensitive to such impact, and the unique anchialine ecosystem is endangered to get extinct. We are outraged that despite a number of complaints and parliamentary questions, the Commission has not investigated this issue.
Hoy Canarias está más unida que nunca por este mar que no va a ser negro, sino que va a seguir siendo un patrimonio de todos.